friends, Gabby Coletta here, sharing practice with you from just outside Las Vegas, one of my favorite little like mountain high desert vibes up here. And today's practice is going to be a shorter but invigorating, energizing flow. Really great for Kapha season, or if you're feeling excess Kapha, so that might be some sluggishness, stagnancy in the body or the mind, lethargy, heaviness. Um, Great for the morning to kind of get that little enlivenment kick for your day. So there will be a lot of twisting, clearing out, some heart opening to invite circulation, and maybe even a little inversion play. And oftentimes, I've been thinking a lot because, in addition to being a yoga instructor, I also am a somatic therapist. And something I've experienced a lot in life, and I also hear a lot with the people I work with, is this feeling of what can happen when you feel stuck, and how when we're stuck, it can be really easy to stay in this cycle and these certain patterns and these certain limitations and belief systems and almost feel near impossible to break out. And there's so many tools that somatics and yoga offer us to get unstuck. And even just the practice every spring of detoxing, clearing, moving what's built up, learning to release and let go, can work into those more subtler layers of helping us get unstuck. So this will be a practice of releasing stagnancy, playing with that in not just the body, but also the mind, and working with some creative tools to envision something different from perhaps what we've always been doing. So without further ado, let's start somewhere very grounded. So a child's pose, knees wide, big toes touch, arms long in front of you. Just beginning the seed of your practice and allowing of settling, softening. Already start to deepen the breath and deepen your exhale. And see if you can invite a sense of invigoration into your child's pose. So spread the fingers, press the hands down and forward, so much so that the side body gets long and the sit bones sink towards the heels. Start to wrap your biceps towards the ears and up to the sky, so the upper back broadens. And deepen your breath, perhaps Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose with a little constriction in back of the throat. Almost like you're fogging up a mirror. You can stay just as you are or come to tent on the fingers. Lift the heart slightly so the spine gets long, the heart pulls forward, and then exhale, heart melts towards earth. You can pulse through that a couple more times, just inviting a little opening into any sticky parts of the shoulder blades, back of heart. Or you can eventually settle perhaps into a deeper child's pose, knees wide, so much so that the chin comes to the earth, maybe the sternum comes to the earth. On your next inhale, spread the hands, rise to table pose, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Move through a few cat-cows here. As you inhale, drop the belly, draw the heart forward, let the chin and gaze lift. Then exhale, round the back, drop the head heavy, pull the shoulder blades apart, Betalasana cat pose. Keep moving, undulating the spine, letting the breath initiate the movement. Inhale to open the heart. Then exhale, open back of heart, press the earth away, round. You can stay here with cow and cat or invite a little curiosity, creativity. Notice any parts of the body that feel a little tense or tight and just wiggle in that direction, a sense of freedom. You can see curve the spine, side to side. You can barrel the torso like you're scraping peanut butter out of a jar. No wrong way to move here. Just greeting the body, touching in with the body, and noticing where there's areas that feel tight, tense, stiff. These can all be signs of spaces of resistance that might require some attention, and with it our prana, to help move that energy. One more breath. You can come back to center. Inhale, send your right arm to the sky. Big breath here. Open the chest, the heart. And then exhale to thread, top arm under bottom, rest the right shoulder, the right cheek on the earth. Now you can keep pressing the left hand into the ground to deepen the twist. You can crawl the left fingers forward or take a half bind behind the back, maybe working your left fingers towards the right hip crease. Choose what serves you. You can stay there, thigh bones are straight up and down, or if you want a little more, send your left leg back, tuck the toes on the earth. Keep the hips squaring down, but the left shoulder peeling back, almost like you're wringing out the spine. Stay or float the left leg up. Stay or bend the knee and do a couple pulses like you're stepping on clouds for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send the leg long. And left knee meets right, left hand frames the face, press into the earth, open right arm to sky. Release. Other side, left arm sweeps up, find this big wingspan across the heart, but pull the shoulders down the back, and then thread top arm under bottom. Rest the left shoulder, the left cheek. Press your right hand into the ground. And again, any arm variation that calls you, maybe it's a half bind, crawl the hands forward. Or right leg extends back, tuck the toes on the earth, square your right hip down as you lean your top shoulder back. Perhaps float the right leg, really active in the leg, or bend it, and a couple pulses to the side. Long, pulsing, and then right knee meets the left, right hand frames the face. Unravel your twist, open the heart, and release. 1 round of cow and cat, rinse it out. Come back to table. Start to walk your hands long in front of you, but keep the hips over the knees. Anahatasana, heart melting pose. Take a big inhale here, and then exhale, melt your heart down. Now, even as your heart melts down, can you squeeze the biceps in towards the ears, spiral them to the sky? Find a little lift of the low ribs, so there's a buoyancy even as your heart opens. 1 more breath. And slowly bring the hands back towards you. We'll meet in Virasana, a seated pose. If there's a different seat that you prefer, feel free to take it. You can also sit on a brick or a prop. When you're ready, reach the arms up. And then open up into cactus arms. Open across the chest, the heart, pinch the shoulder blade tips together. And then close the arms, close the cactus round the upper back. 2 more times, pulse with the breath. Inhale, open heart, arch the back, tone the low belly in. Exhale, round. Once more, inhale. Exhale, round. Come back to center. Release. Interlace the hands and start to make some figure 8s with the wrists. 1 direction. I'll tell as when to cue to switch. Now, I'll demo. What we're going to move into next is a pranayama breathwork practice called Bastrika, sometimes called bellows breath. And it's a forceful inhale and a forceful exhale through the nose, pumping the abdominal. We're going to add a movement with the arms, a twist in it to bring up that extra fiery energy. This is really good for clearing the digestion, cleansing our subtle energy channels, invigorating us, enlivening us. And if this feels too intense at any point, please stick with Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose. Or if you're menstruating, it might be nice to stick to Ujjayi breath. Okay, switch the directions of your wrist circles. I'm going to demo a couple iterations of it, and then we'll go into it together. So you'll take your arms to your shoulders, and then every time you turn to your right, that's going to be a forceful inhale. Every time you turn to the left, forceful exhale. So it looks like this. Okay, so we'll do this Kriya together. Feel free to speed it up if you need, or slow it down if you need to be a little more grounded. Just tune in, find out what it reveals. When you're ready, hands to shoulders. Turn to your right. Exhale the breath out. Inhale completely. Exhale. And then we'll begin. Forceful inhales to the right, forceful exhales to the left. So it's the abdominal is pumping almost like a bellow, like you're pumping the fire, the Agni, our digestive fire, but digests so much more than just physical things. We're really good for opening upper back, back of heart, and these twists here for 3, 2, 1. Release, come to center, release your hands down and just notice. Notice any shifts. Notice your energy. If you feel a little lightheaded, that's normal. If you feel like you need some grounding, perhaps slow the breath, deepen the breath. We're going to do just one more round. So you can join me in that same version, or if there's another kind of fiery pranayama you prefer, feel free to take that. Otherwise, let's do it again. Hands here. Big inhale, clearing breath. Big exhale. Let's begin. Here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale slow, hands down, neutral spine, long spine. Exhale fully. Notice. If your eyes were closed, open the eyes. We'll meet in down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread the hands, send the hips up and back, that upside down V shape. Hands are about outer shoulder width apart, maybe even wider if your shoulders feel tight today. Pointer finger extends forward. Take a big breath. Feet about hips width apart or wider if you need more stability. Deepen your breath in and out through the nose, Ujjayi again. Press your heart towards the back of the mat. Tilt the tailbone up slightly, tone the thighs up, keep a softness behind the knees, and actively draw the heels down. On your next inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, soften heels down. Inhale, rise up. This time, swivel the heels to the right, sink them down, side body stretch, press into both hands, and then inhale back to center. Take it up and over the other way, sink the heels down. Inhale back to center, sink heels down. Inhale, ripple forward into a plank pose and pause. Now you can always find a variation of knees to earth for more support. Otherwise, gaze at the top of the head and press the back of the skull to the sky so the head is in line with the spine. Press into the hands, puff up the space behind the heart just slightly, and without moving your hips up, press the backs of the thighs to the sky. Lengthen your tailbone back, navel in. One more big breath. Exhale, hips up and back. Down dog. Inhale, ripple forward into plank. And this time, lower all the way to your belly, either knees, chest, chin, or one long line of energy, your choice. Untuck each toe, lengthen each leg back. Walk your hands to the lowest ribs for Bhujangasana, low cobra. Loop the shoulders back, lift the heart. Keep pressing tops of the feet down. Tuck the chin. See if you can find a little strengthening here by floating the hands off the earth for 3, 2, 1. Release, forehead down. And then tuck the toes and liven the thighs, let them peel off the earth. Press through the L of your hands on your exhale to press through plank or table. Down dog. Gaze at the top of the mat. Start to walk your feet up to the top. We'll meet in Uttanasana, forward fold at the very top. Take a generous bend in the knees, feet parallel. Feet can be outer hips width apart if you'd like, or maybe hips width. Option to grab opposite elbows here or interlace the hands behind the back, inviting a little more heart opening. Let the knuckles fall towards the front of the room or your front of your mat, but pull the shoulders away from the ears to the back of the neck and breathe. One more breath. Maybe give the head a little shake, just releasing any mental clutter, any sticky thoughts, sticky beliefs. Let them roll off the back. Release the hands. On your next inhale, find a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands come to shins, thighs are top of mat. Weight is in the fronts of the feet. Exhale to bow forward and fold. Fingers in line with toes, forehead towards shins. Let's pulse twice more. Inhale, half lift, long spine, and think baby cobra in the upper back. So there's a heart opener here. Exhale, fold, bow inward, ribs to thighs, forehead towards shins. One more time. Inhale, half lift, slide the shoulders down the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Take your hands to your hips, tone the thighs up, and then rise all the way up to your Tadasana mountain pose. Let's start with some Surya A's to warm up. When you're ready, inhale, reach to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, palms come to touch. Swan dive, fold forward, hinge at the hips all the way down to fold. Find your half lift, nice long spine. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Now, if you're ready for a chaturanga, go for it. I'll demo variation first. Lower knees, chest, chin, or halfway down. Inhale, low cobra or up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog, 3 breaths. Press your hands down and forward, let the side body get long. Sink the heels towards the earth. Can your ears be in line with the biceps? Now, if you are going to float forward, think about engaging what's called Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha. So this is like Mula Bandha, root lock, holding your P, and Uddiyana Bandha, flying upward lock. So it's drawing your navel in and up. That'll help you get there a little lighter on the exhale. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, gaze at the top of the mat. Bottom of the exhale, step or float to the top. Find your half lift, fold inward. Reverse swan dive, press to the feet, reach all the way up, palms come to touch. Samastitihi, hands to heart center. Another Surya A, invoking the energy of the sun. Inhale, reach up, grow tall, long side body. Exhale, heart leads you down as you fold in half all the way towards the earth. Find your half lift, nice long spine. Plant the hands, step back into plank pose. You can do that first variation, something else, or this time join me, pitching forward slightly, lowering down halfway into chaturanga, 90-degree bend in the elbows. Inhale to your up dog. Thighs stay off the earth. Little bend in the elbows will open the heart. Exhale, draw the navel in and up to find your down dog, supporting your low back there. 3 breaths. Ujjayi breath. So even the breath has a way of moving what's stagnant, what's stale, what's ready to release. In fact, our exhale is probably the biggest detoxifier. I think almost 80% of toxins released through the exhale. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, gaze at the front of the mat. Bottom of the exhale, step or float to the top. Find your half lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Press the feet, reach all the way up to the sky, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Last Surya A. Inhale, reach up, grow tall. Exhale, fold forward, heart leads you down. Breath and body together. Inhale, long spine, half lift. Plant the hands, step, maybe float back. Move through your vinyasa. It can be chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. You can even drop to table cat cow for another variation. Down dog is where we meet for 3 full breaths. And we still stay super present in our down dog. Spread the hands, press into the L of the hands, draw the center of the palms up. Spin the biceps towards the ears and up to the sky, almost like you're hollowing out the armpits. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, gaze at the front of the mat. Bottom of the exhale, step or float to the top. Find your half lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, press the feet, reach all the way up to the sky, palms come to touch. Hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Pause here for a moment, just notice any shifts. Notice where your mind is. And choose what you want to orient towards, whether it's your intention, your breath. Separate your feet hips width apart. Sink the hips low, graze the fingertips on the earth, reach the arms up. Find Utkatasana, fierce pose. Let's sink the weight into the heels, feet are parallel, knees face forward. And then without moving the knees in, imagine you're squeezing into a brick between the thighs, just to engage the inner thighs, outer glutes engage, reach the arms up. Breathe. Keep trying to keep the knees forward, bring the hands to heart center, inhale here. And as you exhale, twist to the right just to tap the elbow to the right knee or get it close. Inhale back to center, keep the sit bones low, take that twist the other way just for a tap. Once more each side. And tap. Back to center. And tap. And back to center. Fly the arms back, anchor your gaze on one spot. Option for drinking bird, rise onto your tippy toes. A little balance challenge for 3, 2, 1. Maybe keep that tippy toes, find a half lift and fold. Soles of the feet to the earth. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Rinse through a down dog or a chaturanga if you want, or hold down dog. Find what will support you. We'll meet in our down dog. Few breaths. When you're ready, send your right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog, and then open up the hips. Stack right hip on top of left, knee towards the sky, heel towards the sit bone, but square your shoulders to the earth. Maybe a couple circles here if you want. One more breath. Three-legged dog, get nice and long. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, pause here. Option for a little extra to lower the knee, elevator it down to the back of the wrist, and then dome the upper back, bring it back to the armpit twice more, or just keep holding. Bring it up once more, and up, and send it long and back. Exhale, step it through. All 10 toes face forward. Lower the back knee down, lift the heart. And then exhale, straighten the front leg, scissor the inner thighs together like a variation of pyramid, flex the front foot. We'll just pulse it a couple times. Back knee lowers, lift the heart, melt the shoulders down the back. Exhale to straighten. Once more. And straight. Bend into the front leg. Draw your right arm to the sky, find a twist, but try to keep your pelvis level to the earth. So outer right hip spirals down. Always an option to drop the back knee to the earth for a little support here. 2 more breaths. Think wringing out the spine. Twist from the navel, the ribs, the heart. Draw the shoulders down the back. 1 more breath. Release the top hand to the inside of the front foot. Pivot to face the long edge of the mat, walking it into Skandasana for your back leg. So left knee is in the same direction as the toes. Option to ground your left hand down, press a tricep into the leg, reach the right arm up, open arm twist. Ground both hands. Really mindful transition, warrior 2 is where we're gonna meet. So you can use the support of the earth to kind of rise up, rotate right toes forward, back toes in slightly, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Hips, shoulders, square to the long edge, arms nice and long, open heart. Breathe here. Sink a little lower. Relax the shoulders. Let's add some pulses here. On your inhale, reach up to the sky, straighten the front leg, palms touch. Exhale, sink back down. Twice more, reach up. Sink back down. Last one, reach up. And sink back down. Flip the front palm up, find reverse warrior, up and back. Sink a little lower. Take another big breath. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Pause here, all 10 toes face forward, and step your back foot in slightly, setting up for pyramid pose. Classical alignment is heel to heel. You can take your feet a little wider. Front toes forward, left toes to like 11 o'clock, let's say. Hands can be on bricks here, great spot. Get long in the spine, squeeze the inner thighs together, and pull your outer right sit bone back. When you're ready, exhale and fold. See if you can bring the ribs to the thighs. Notice, you can even bring your hand to your low back and notice if one hip is up or one hip is lower. See if you can level that out. Tailbone lengthens back, heart draws forward. You can stay or join me in a twist. Left hand can come to the inside or the pinky toe of your front foot. Right thumb can come to the right hip crease to pull, lengthen the outer right side body. You can take the right hand to the sacrum or reach the right arm up. Really press through the ball mount of the big toe, squeeze the inner thighs together, pull the shoulders down the back. 1 more breath, and release. Both hands frame the front foot. Start to ground into your right foot, send your left leg high to the sky. Standing splits. Hands can be on the earth. You can grab onto one ankle, maybe both. Get a little balance challenge. But see if you can really press the left leg up from the inseam. So there's an energetic pulling from the inseam. 1 more breath. Exhale, plant the left foot down. Right leg long and back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, rinse through your vinyasa. foot down. You can pause, take a child's pose. Other side, when we're ready, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Open up the hip, stack left hip on top of right. Couple breaths to maybe find some hip circles, some mobility, some opening, explore what feels tight. Then reach the leg long and back. Big inhale here. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Shift your weight forward. So it's like plank with the body, the left knee to left elbow. Keep holding, drawing the belly in, or take those little elevators, knee to wrist, and then suck it up towards the armpit. 2 more. And up. 1 more. Up. Send the leg long and back. Reset. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, and as lightly as possible, plant the foot between the hands. Pause here as you lower the back knee to a hover, to kiss the earth, lift the heart, melt the shoulders down the back. Exhale, straighten the front legs, scissor inner thighs together. These pyramid variations. We'll pulse twice more. Bend the back knee, shoulders melt down. Exhale, squeeze inner thighs together as you pull outer left hip back, straighten front leg, bow inward. Once more. And straighten. This time when we bend into the front leg, pause here. We'll take it into a revolved lunge. Right hand down to the earth or a brick. Left arm up. Notice if the back thigh is sinking down or if the right hip is sinking down. Can you press the back thigh up to the sky? Keep the pelvis level, outer left hip spirals down, and then start that twist from the navel, the ribs, the heart open across the chest. Pull the shoulders down the back. Always an option to drop back knee to earth. So it's said that when we work on twists, we're working with the fire element in the body, helping with digestion, helping what might be built up or stagnant. 1 more breath. Really mindful transition into Skandasana back leg. Release the top hand down. Pivot to face the long edge of the mat. Bend into your right knee in the same direction as the toes. Right hand down, press a tricep into the leg, reach left arm up. Open the heart towards the sky. Lean the top shoulder back. And then we'll transition mindfully into our warrior 2. Left toes to the front of the mat. Back toes angle in slightly. Now, as you set up in your warrior 2, think more hips square to the long edge, but check in with that front knee. If it starts to bow inward, can you press it towards the pinky toe? Shoulders stacked over hips, nice long spine, arms reach, said to be extensions of the heart. Soft gaze under the left finger, over the left fingers. Flip both palms up. On your inhale, reach the palms to touch, straighten the front leg. Exhale, sink down. Twice more, reach up. Exhale, soften. And 1 more time. And soften. Flip the front palm up, find reverse. Big breath into the side body, top pinky finger spirals down. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. We're gonna step it forward a little bit. Back foot steps in slightly, setting up for our pyramid pose. So heel to heel alignment for classical, or feet about hips width apart. Hips are working towards square to the front of the room here. Pull your outer left hip back. Lengthen your tailbone back. And then exhale, bow inward. So anytime we're doing these deep folds or hamstring stretching, if you have any pain near the glute or the knee, that can always be a sign that you might need to bring a little more of a micro bend into your knee so that we're stretching from the meat of the muscle, the center of the hamstring, versus its connective parts. Option to stay just as you are. This might be enough. Practicing santosha in our mind and body. Or if you want to work into the twist, a little challenge. Right hand can come to the front of the foot in the inside or the pinky toe. You might take your left thumb to the hip crease for a self-adjustment. Pull the left hip back so the left side body gets nice and long. And then send left arm up to sky. See if you can pull your left shoulder back, arms in one nice long line. Definitely a balanced challenge. Breathe for a couple breaths. And 1 more breath. And release the top hand down. Bend into your front leg, start to ground in your front foot, standing splits. Right leg rises to the sky. Draw the leg up from the inseam. Maybe you have one hand, grab onto the back of the calf, wrap around the ankle, the foot, maybe both. And woo, when you're ready, step it back. Three-legged dog, send the leg long and back. Rinse through your vinyasa or skip it. Take a moment here. Find what is a resting pose for you. So it could be a child's pose, a down dog, perhaps a dolphin. When I say resting pose, what I'm inviting us to tune into is a slowness of breath, a steadiness of breath. So we can kind of take things down a notch. So breath that's not efforted for about 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and make your way back to down dog. Reach your right leg long and back behind you. Find three-legged dog again. Now you can stay just as you are, or you can start to flip the dog into your wild thing by dropping the foot behind the back, lift the heart, arm can reach to the sky or reach back. Now if you're like, no, that's not quite happening, you can take this into a side plank instead. About 2 more breaths in your wild thing. Then we'll come back to center, down dog. Spread your hands. Notice if there was a little extra on the wrists. Can you use the L of the hands, kind of the more weight-bearing part of the wrist? Other side. Left leg rises. Open up the hip. And then flip the dog if you wish. See if you can lift the heart, arch the back, reach the left arm either straight up or overhead. Maybe even flip it into a wheel, only if that's something that you feel comfortable exploring today. Slowly we'll take it back, down dog. And then take your feet as wide as the mat, toes out, heels in. Walk your hands back. We'll meet in Malasana, garland pose, at the back of the mat. Press the elbows into the knees, lift the heart into the thumbs. Notice if you're dumping into the inner arches, and if you are, find a little lift under the inner arches. So here's our last little oomph, and I'm going to give 2 options. So from here you can work into crow pose, and I'll explain that one first. If this is a familiar pose in your practice and you want something different, perhaps you do arm pressure pose or Bhuja Pindasana, and I'll explain both. Of course, if you're like, wait, no, I need more grounding, hang out here or take butterflies seated on the ground. Now, if you're coming into crow, sometimes I like to step up on a brick to get my hips up high. Spread the hands, think chaturanga in the arms. So wrap the elbows back, rise onto the tippy toes, and then squeeze the armpits in towards the armpits. So everything's drawing in towards the midline of the mat. Lean forward, maybe that's where you stay. Maybe 1 foot comes off, maybe 2. Maybe you turn it into crane by straightening the arms, bringing the heels close to the booty, or you could even flip it into your headstand if that's something you like to do. Now for arm pressure pose, you will take a really big, deep bend in the knees. See if you can wrap your arms in between the legs and plant them behind you. This is another great place where bricks can be helpful. You'll start to sit your booty in, kind of in between the upper arms, biceps. And I like to just start to wiggle my feet in towards each other. And maybe that's where you stay with the feet on the earth, or you cross one ankle and the other, you lift the feet up, or you can take that into something else, like a firefly. So options to play wherever you are. Take what you need. Maybe see what happens if you lean into the challenge a bit. And notice if there's a resistance narrative in your mind, and just get curious about it. It's there for a reason. Perhaps it's there to protect you for some way or another. And what if? What if we just tried something different? So 2 more breaths wherever you're playing. 1 more. And eventually you'll land the feet if the feet aren't landed. Find a forward fold. Take a generous bend in the knees and slide your hands underneath the feet. Give the wrists a little release. You can wiggle the toes, head heavy, back of neck long. Couple breaths. If you're going deeper, take an inhale to traction some length in the spine first, and then elbows out to the side, ribs to thighs, head heavy. Take the hands out from underneath you, walk yourself into your down dog. Vinyasa as you wish, or skip it. Just kind of reset. Whatever that is for you to reset, please take it. Now I'll offer 2 inversions. If you're craving a little more of a restorative inversion, come on onto your backs. Maybe even if you're at a wall, find a wall. But we'll find legs up a wall, legs high to the sky. You can put your sit bones or your sacrum on a brick too. That can be nice, or a blanket. And this is a really great way to get an inversion in the body, have some lymphatic drainage, clear some stagnancy. If you want to work into headstand, I like to do it in a couple parts. If you already have this in your practice, feel free to go, enjoy more time in it. Otherwise, you'll set your base up by grabbing your elbows. Keep your elbows exactly where they are on the mat, but then swivel your hands forward, cradle the pinky fingers, interlace the hands. Put the very crown of the head on the ground. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and this might be where you stay, working the strength for your inversion, your headstand. Stay there, walk the feet in, so much so that the hips are over the shoulders. It might feel even a little weird. Maybe that's where you stay, lifting one leg and then the other. Big thing here is that we're not lifting the leg up, but we're bringing our center of gravity in, heel towards sit bone. Maybe you stay there, or you lift both, and everything's in, or from there, knees to the sky, legs up. And I encourage you to play with coming out the same way to practice control. If you're doing that inversion, take a child's pose when you're ready. If you're in legs up the wall, just soak it up. So good for the whole body and the nervous system. I think a myth that a lot of people think is when we're doing a kapha practice, a kapha balancing practice, it's like, oh, do we have to do a lot of energizing poses or things that are super intense to kind of shift the kapha? No, we can totally do really still, gentle, even restorative poses that still balance kapha, that still invite circulation, clearing, draining, release of what's built up. Eventually, we'll all meet on our backs. So if you haven't gotten there already, go ahead and make your way onto your back, hug your knees into the chest. Find a happy baby, feet wide, soles of the feet to the sky, knees by the armpits, tailbone lengthens forward. Soften the imprint of the back to the earth, lengthen your tailbone forward, maybe a couple lion's breath to clear things out, stick out the tongue, stretch the jaw. Hug the knees into the chest, send your left leg long, but keep hugging your right knee in, half wind removing pose, also good for digestion, bloating, gas. And then shift your hips to the side, cross the knee over the body. So hips are stacked in one line, right arm out to a T or cactus. And since we've been working a lot of hamstring opening, you might play with grabbing the pinky toe edge of your right foot, extending it long, bending your bottom leg and grabbing onto the foot, finding this variation. Is it obligated? Absolutely not. Tune into the nuance of what your body needs. And then when you're ready, come back to center. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Give it a nice squeeze in towards the armpit as your right leg extends heavy to the earth. And then scooch your hips an inch to the right. Drop the knee across the body to the left. So hips are stacked in one line. Left arm out to a half T or a half cactus. You might even think of left side body, left hip lengthening towards the front. Stay or grab onto the pinky toe edge. Extend the leg. Maybe take the full bind, bottom foot. Couple breaths. When you're ready, release. Come back to center. Give everything a squeeze. If there's something else you need in your practice that wasn't honored, please take that. I'll be leaving you in Shavasana, your pose of integration and rest, corpse pose. So feel free to guide yourself out when you are ready. Otherwise, final moments before we enter, give everything a big squeeze, and then let everything go into Shavasana. Final rest.